Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. My name is Tatiana Fedorenchik. I'm the Global Product Marketing Director here at Virtuozzo. So before moving on, I just want to mention that we are waiting for your questions during this webinar, and just use the chat or question tab to send any questions you have during the webinar or at the end of the webinar. Also, this session is going to be recorded, so you will receive the link afterwards to watch it again or to share with your colleagues. So today we are going to talk about server protection. We know that you take application and infrastructure security really seriously. So our aim is to help you while moving to the next level of protection. We'll talk about application security pain points, about hosting cloud market expectations, as well as solutions that assist us to keep calm while running a variety of different projects. And we have a great company to discuss these topics. Let's move on to the next slide so we can present our speakers today. First of all, welcome George Ergley, founder and CEO of BitNinja Server Protection software company, as well as we have Matthew Robin, CEO of Hedora, the DevOps and cloud hosting provider from Switzerland. So George and Matthew, I'd like to give you a word to introduce yourself and your companies. George?
Thank you, Tatiana. Welcome, everyone. Very nice meeting you all. And my name is Zsolt Egri. I'm the CEO and founder of BitNinja. My company was started, BitNinja was started about 7 years ago, and actually I started my first company almost 20 years ago at the university. It was a small Hungarian shared web hosting company, and later on we had a lot of problems with security, with cyber attacks against our customers' websites and email accounts, and it caused us a lot of problems in terms of churn and reputation. So I wanted to solve this problem for myself, and that's how BitNinja was born 7 years ago. And that's how I shifted my career into the security space from web hosting, because I believe one of the most problematic area of security is shared hosting.
That's great. It seems to me that many companies were created while solving some private issues and problems. That's a good point, because rather often we have common problems. So let's solve all of them all together. Matthew, can you share your experience with Hedora?
Yes, with pleasure. Nice to meet you, everybody. I'm Matthew Robin from Hedora, so I'm the CEO and the founder of the company. I have created Hedora now 6 years ago, so not so old, but the idea is to provide a cloud platform to our Switzerland and Europe market, to our customer. The why we have created this, that's at a few years ago, there is no container as a service platform in the Switzerland market for our customer, and we had many company would like to move to the container and keep data in Switzerland, because we have a different legal system and a very different law protection in terms of legally and in terms of criticity by the Europe. So we have many banks, many medical companies, and they need to protect their data from everywhere. And that's the reason we work a lot about the security for our platform. And then we would like to add a more deeply system with a personal attendant for each customer can manage their security correctly. That's the reason we work with BitNinja, because for us it's a solution end-to-end and for the end customer, so they can manage this. But in our way, we would like to push the DevOps philosophy and the automation for the industrialization of the delivery of the software. So for me, we need a solution able to be automated. That's the reason we choose BitNinja, because we can install and go deeply on the security level, fully automated. I will show you later. Thank you.
That's great. Automation is the key. That's true. And the best part is that these two great companies have one important common thing. They are partners of Virtuozzo. So for those who are new to Virtuozzo, we are a leading provider of a hyper-converged full-stack platform with infrastructure and cloud solutions, who first developed production-ready container technology over 20 years ago. So our extensive portfolio of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, anything as a service solutions with built-in virtualization, storage, and management tools enables service providers like Hedora to build alternative cloud business, offering cutting-edge cloud services out of the box. And currently, our solutions are available across about 700 providers worldwide. So now when everyone knows each other, we are ready to talk about security. George, your company is highly focused on protection, so you know a lot about what is going on the security market nowadays. Can you share a bit?
Yeah, so lately the number of websites and connected to this, the number of cyber attacks are increasing rapidly. The factors behind this tendency is, of course, the pandemic that was started like 2.5 years ago, and from that point, when there were lockdowns everywhere, people had no other choice than to go online or close their small and medium sized shops. So now it is not just an option to have an online presence, website or e-commerce store, and do the business online, but it's mandatory for everyone actually, as far as we see. This increase in the number of websites also brought the increase of cyber attacks, and that's the same at the web server level. So what we see in the numbers is actually a raise of the number of vulnerabilities discovered, the number of daily hacking attempts, the sizes of botnets and new botnet software that was released. I also have a couple real world examples regarding this tendency. So you might know WordPress. It's a very popular content management system. And it's great because it has a lot of integrations, a lot of teams. You can find resources all over the web, but it's very hard to keep it secure and up to date. In my hosting business, for example, we had a lot of cases where customers were complaining about a hacked website. Of course, we told them to update the WordPress and the themes and the plugins, but they said if they try to update it, then it will break the site. So this is not always an option. Also, there are still a lot of password brute force attacks. It's well, for the attackers, for the owners of the botnets, it's so the resources are virtually free, so they can try dictionary attacks, so they can try different combinations. It doesn't consume their resources actually. Matthew, what is your insights regarding these trends?
We completely be aligned with you, because since the beginning of Idora, we saw more and more attacks from the externals, and we saw more and more attacks from different devices. Like IoT device were a bit hacked, and they are used to be a robot to add other website, and many of our customers receive many attacks from everywhere to do just, yes, as you saw, password brute force, or trying to open a port or whatever, SSH access. And a lot of people are not able to update their website, WordPress and any other, because they doesn't have the agility of the flexibility from the development to put in production, because they are not DevOps integrated. They doesn't have any CI/CD. They doesn't have this automation. Some small web agency doesn't have the knowledge of the IT security. They doesn't have the knowledge about the server side protection. So that's the point where us as a hoster, we need to provide solution for them. So in terms technically, we have our physical firewall with a lot of security, with a lot of automation and a lot of artificial intelligence to do this protection. But some of websites receive more and more attacks because they are exposed. For example, we have a big association, a non-governmental association, hosting their main website on our system. So they have million visitors by month. This is really, really huge. In the fact, they moved to us since now 1.5 years, something like this. And since the war in Ukraine, they receive massive attack. But when I say massive attack, we just multiply by 10 the factor of number of attacks per day. It's just amazing. So we had to work in terms of resources, CPU, memory, RAM, traffic, and network, but about the security, how we can manage attack, how we can manage log, how we can manage all of these points. And then that's a very good point, because we spoke with developer guys, we spoke about IT manager, and not with the security guy or RSSI guys. So they doesn't have the technical view of the security. That's the point where BitNinja for us is a turnkey system for a lot of people, because everything is automated and everything is already prepared for the end user and standard end user. That's, from my point, one of the base point. And in the second way, as we had in Switzerland, we have a lot of customers using private data, like banking system, like medical data, like HR data, and they are in Switzerland to be in neutral company compared to Europe or compared to the world. And that's the way they are hosting it, Swiss data center and in our platform, because we are fully in Switzerland. That's the way for them. But in this case, they receive more attack because people would like to have this Switzerland data. So now we would like to work with them to say, okay, we have solution and we want to improve the quality of the security only for your specific request and demand, and not make a big point, but just for their point. And that's the way of our experience today, and we continue to grow to help our customer with that.
Yeah, and I think no need to mention the consequences of a breach, because there are regulations. I believe in Switzerland it's even more hard, but in the EU, in the US, there are legal regulations regarding personal data management. So it makes also important and mandatory to safeguard our data and keep the hackers away as much as possible. All right. So let me talk about BitNinja a little bit. we've been studying the cyber attacks a long time ago, and what we've found is there's a shared model of how each cyber attack is happening in case of automated attacks and in case of direct attacks as well. So in most of the cases, it starts with some kind of scans or data gathering to find the vulnerable points of the system. Then, once a vulnerability has been recognized by the attacker, there's an exploitation phase when the given vulnerability is used to gain access to the backend systems. The next step is when the attacker is installing some software on the backend that enables a persistent existence of the attacker, so opens a backdoor to the system, and from that point actually they can do the harming part, so use the resources, steal the data, or alter files, or ask for ransom. So these are the four key points that is common in most of the attacks that we have found. And to have a mitigation system for that covers all of these steps, you need a system that has the right protection features against each of the steps or each of the layers. And that's how we built up BitNinja to have an integrated system where each tools or each modules can remediate the attacks, and at the same time these modules are interconnected with each other to share data and help the work and create a hard defense line against attackers. It is also important to highlight that BitNinja provides you a centralized view of the security of your infrastructure. So the model how it works is you install an agent on a node, and this node can be a physical server, virtual server, or a container. And this agent is managing the different security aspects of the local node, but also communicates with all the other nodes through the centralized API. And it enables you to have an overview of what is happening in your system. And with containers, you can easily get to high numbers, and that's also why it's important to have this centralization. So once you install BitNinja on a node, you can log into this centralized dashboard and monitor and manage the different security aspects of your system. As I mentioned, sorry, in the previous slide here, we provide different security modules for each layer of a cyber attack. And now I would like to cover these modules to give you a rough understanding about how the system works. The first layer is the IP level. So we provide an IP reputation list that is collected and built by us from the production BitNinja servers who are using our system. We federate this information and then reshare to all the users. And you can benefit from 8 years of collected data. You can see all the historical informations of IP addresses, and sometimes it's quite useful when you are not really sure about what an IP or what the traffic is trying to do on your system, and you want to see a bit more more details about the history of the traffic. And how we collect this data, I will talk about it soon with the next module. But before we go on, there are three different lists that we handle. One is the blacklist. The second one is the whitelist. I believe most of the people are familiar with these terms. So with the blacklist, we block out every connection. With the whitelist, we let it go through. And there's a third list that we introduced that is called the gray list. On the gray list, we manage IP addresses that has some suspicious traffic. Not an IP address that all right, you decide to block out, but still it is suspicious. And for the gray listed IP addresses, we use well, basically a captcha mechanism to find out if the visitor is a human visitor, or is it an automated traffic that is trying to access your system. The first attempt, for the first attempt, we render a so-called browser integrity check screen that is very easy to handle for the average users, because it's just like a screen, and it takes like 2 seconds, and then it redirects to the website itself. And in the background, we do a couple of checks to find out if there's a real JavaScript engine in the browser, if there's real mouse movement, and so on. And on those cases when there are more serious incidents about the IP address, we render a normal captcha. And of course, if there's repeated incidents on a server, then we blacklist the IP address. So this is all happening automatically. The good news for website owners and system administrators is that you can white label fully this solution. So you can change the content of it. You can translate it. It is already translated to more than 12 languages. All right, so this is a rough filter for the incoming traffic. And what if the attacker is smart enough and sends directly an exploitation to a website? For this scenario, we created a web application firewall. It is not dependent on any backend technology, so you can use it with Apache Nginx, PHP, JavaScript, any technology, because it is implemented as a reverse proxy. I believe Matthew will talk about this part on the demo side. We can also decrypt the SSL encryption to look into the actual traffic and apply rules on that level. And what is very important, we have a feedback mechanism to decrease the number of false positives, because website visitors and users are not really a big fan of false positives. So, so it is important to keep it as low as possible. You can customize the rule set for a domain or for a given URL as well, but at the same time you have the comfort to just keep the preset rule set. So this way you can have a pretty good coverage even without deeper configuration. All right. Of course, we ship the rule sets and we update it regularly, and yeah, it is a quite important factor in security. The next one is DOS. Well, DDoS attacks have a very big hype lately, so this is one of the cyber weapons that is quite commonly used. Unfortunately, a network level DDoS attack cannot be stopped at the server side, so in a software layer, but there are a lot of good providers and scrubbing centers and solutions to stop network level DDoS attacks. But simple DOS attacks are not big enough to for these solutions to trigger the defense in many cases. So for this, BitNinja has a DOS protection, built-in DOS protection prevention solution. It is based on the number of open connections on the network layer, and also the WEF has an ability to maximize the number of connections that is allowed to a domain name. So you can even fight on that level if you have multiple websites behind an IP address. Yeah, so for the IP reputation, I told that I will talk about how we collect these data for the IP reputation, and one of the most successful ways building up honeypots. When we were designing our system, we thought, why not using all the BitNinja installations as a small honeypots everywhere. So this way we have a port level honeypot and a web or application level honeypot built into the solution. The port level honeypot is basically well, pretends, all right, so it opens up a 100 unused port and simulates a fake service on each of these ports. So we can be pretty sure that if somebody is opening a connection to these fake services, then he's not doing any good thing, but trying to map the services of the given IP address. And the application level honeypot is very useful against for example, form spammer bots or crawlers that is trying to sniff data from your system. So these two components are producing a lot of useful data to the IP reputation module. Yeah, and what if these security level level is still not enough, and the attacker is able to go through all of these layers, or there are persistent threats already on the system beforehand BitNinja was installed on the server. That's where our anti-malware system comes into the picture. The good thing with our malware detection system is it is absolutely built for servers and for threats against servers, and there's a very big difference between endpoint malwares and viruses and server viruses. We've tested a lot of commercial malware or virus antivirus solutions, and they have very poor coverage on server-based viruses and malwares. So that's why we created our own malware engine that is pretty efficient against these kind of attack vectors. Of course, it cannot be used for for a PC, or can be used, but the efficiency would be low. So a couple of things to highlight is we do behavior analysis on the files. So there's a small submodule that simulates the execution of files and tries to find any strange behavior of the file, and we can find zero-day threats through this analysis. Also, it is important to not to consume too much resources. So you only have to do a full scan once on the system, because then we cache the metadata of each files, and then it is enough to look at the changes, so the changes of file system. So this way you can avoid high I/O and CPU consumption from the malware part. I remember those days, like 15 years ago, when my PC almost you know, fly up because I started the antivirus full scan. Well, that was the same with server anti-malware softwares a couple of years ago, but now, thanks to BitNinja, it is pretty resource friendly. We also do SQL scanning. It's in beta test, so if there's anyone interested, then I would like to invite everyone for this beta test. All right, I think that's these are the main components of BitNinja.
Thank you, George, for these insights. I would say now we are closer to better security already, even after listening all these details. So that's perfect. And this cool technology with all this functionality is already available within Virtuozzo Application Platform with fully automated installation. So you basically click several buttons and get this tool up and running for protection of your servers just in minutes. And you can get it from the marketplace from our marketplace across a wide number of different service providers, local service providers. And one of them is Hedora for sure, and Matthew became one of the first service providers with the Virtuozzo Application Platform who started to offer BitNinja to their customers, to users. Mm-hmm. So that's why Matthew has a good experience already with these tools and can show how it is integrated inside Virtuozzo Application Platform, as well as share some feedback from customers and from using this tool by the team, Hedora team.
Yes, thank you so much, Tatiana. Yes, that's true, yeah, because for us it was very important to have the security on all our stack. And as I told you before, the way of making security is give the web access, and a good interface to manage the security for everybody. That's the point of the centralized management from BitNinja is really good for that. The integration with the Virtuozzo Elastic platform is really great because it's quite easy for technical person and for non-technical person, because as you told Tatiana, it's quite in few clicks you can have a full security option for everybody and for all your environments. Let me share my screen. If you can give me the
George, can you read
yeah,
again?
perfect.
Right. Yeah, and while Matthew is opening, for sure, this is important to have this automation level. In order, even if you have experience, you don't really need to spend time on doing some everyday routine tasks. You can automate that, and you can get the right tools in the right manner for your project. So this is the good point. Okay, great. Now we see your screen.
Yes, that's perfect. So that's, as you explained, the idea is to provide BitNinja quite easy for everybody. I have prepared a WordPress cluster for big company doing no things, because this is a simple demo platform with an hello world system, just for information. The first way, we have created this WordPress cluster so 1 week ago, with no website, so no identity in the Google place, and nobody knows about this WordPress. We received massive attack because a lot of bots. And last week we have installed the BitNinja agent on the 2 load balancer, and then we receive and collect data and protect our WordPress. How we can install BitNinja? It's quite simple. Marketplace, going to add-ons, BitNinja services, install, and choose on which server I would like to install my BitNinja. That's pretty cool. The price is the same as the BitNinja server or public price, but it's based hourly. So if your environment is stopped, you don't pay the BitNinja license. If it's power on, you pay your BitNinja license. This is a good point because we have a lot of developers using our platform with development environment, so they don't use it for many times, and sometimes they power on just to make an update and then just shut down. So that's the way they can keep their infrastructure secure, even if it's in pre-production, production, or developer level. That's one of the first ones. So I click on install, and it's going very fast, installing directly in the web interface. When it's installed, I go on my load balancer and see in my add-on level, it's installed. So here I have the installed BitNinja services, and I can go directly to the BitNinja admin panel, where I have all my centralized BitNinja services installed. That's the first way. So quite simple web UI. In few clicks, we have the security installed. Going to the BitNinja dashboard, let's go to the first page and see how is it going, how is it works. It's quite simple. These 2 servers, so these 2 load balancer we have installed. Let me delete the server, it was a test before the demonstration. And then we have installed, so it's running, and we have all information about how it works. So if I go deeply, I have on which operating system, which BitNinja agent, the load of the server, and the public IP. And of course, I have the graph of the incident. For reminder, this is a WordPress with a demo installation with no presence on Google. We do nothing on this. So this is just impressionist to see how we can have many attacks for nothing. For example, I have the details of this node, and directly I have the attack we can have. So we have, of course, the security and the level of the security. So I can, okay, I have a port hit from this IP to my IP directly on this port. It's blocked. That's great. I can go directly to the attacker IP and see, yes, who is it? A Singapore guys. This IP is on the global blacklist, and I can show, okay, come back to the gray list, remove from the gray list, and or add in the white list, or add in the blacklist. So we have more information, and we can go deeply on this. That's very great because it's quite simple, and as you see, it's few clicks to do it. Another way is, we can go to the analytics and see how it works, the IP reputation, the port ONI, and etc. etc. So we have not so much attack, but we have a bit, and that's precious for the single WordPress system. Of course, we have all the logs of the server, and we can go directly to the agent log and see if everything is going and everything is working fine. That's the first point. On another side, we can manage the settings of which module we would like to activate on the system, as George presented before. We have by default, the IP reputation is activated. We have activated the port honeypot, the web honeypot is activated, the DOS protection is activated, etc., etc. So we have many systems where we have configured the settings. When we would like to go deeply on this, we can directly go to the firewall and see the blocked IP address they have, how many attack robotic we have protected in our system, and how many traffic we have. This is just impressionist how is it easy to manage this. And then we can, for example, create a blacklist. As you know, we receive many attacks from country. A specific one is this time is the Russian Federation. So I just put the country is blacklist. So for us, we refuse all Russian guys coming attacking our server. That's great, so we can manage directly for our private data. For example, we have a customer using this in France and Switzerland. So he have only whitelisted France and Switzerland and blacklisted everybody else. So this is the best way for them to make sure that only their customer and their personnel can work on that system, and that's very great. In terms of web application firewall, we have the basic system, that's the web application firewall with the HTTPS protection and the module status. And then we will have different rules for different domains. So if we'd like to have by default some rules, so I have the BitNinja recommended one. And then if I would like to have custom one for my system, I can do it and manage directly my advanced setting on this. So I keep the challenge and gray IP list. I keep the BitNinja recommended list, and then I will add more and more rule sets based on that. For example, this is a WordPress, so I have added the WordPress backdoor protection. Here, it was not by default. And then I have added the WordPress plugin vulnerability protection that I would check all the vulnerability of the WordPress plugin. And that's great because for us, I don't have to manage this rule. It's already done by BitNinja. I have just to install active or not these rules. Of course, I have the ONTAP core rule set, so I can manage this one and make a pretty and very deeply configuration on each level for our server. That's very great. That's one of the points. For the moment, we have scanned the server for the anti-malware. So we do a full scan as recommended by George before, and it was great. No problem on it. So we are great, and we can, of course, schedule a malware scan to make sure that's great. And of course, I can manage my settings for this platform of scanning. My connection is a bit slow. No problem. Let's go to, no, it's fine, perfect. So there is a good point. This is optimized for low server performance impact. This one is very great because, as you know, on Virtuozzo platform as a service, you pay only for what you consume. So that means if your server doesn't know things, you pay the minimum. And if you have a lot of resources, you pay a bit more. That's the reason of we are very scalable and we are able to manage and receive a lot of requests without any problem. The case of BitNinja agent is very resource how do you say It doesn't use doesn't use a lot of yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Doesn't use so much resources, so that's a very good effort in terms of pricings of the hosting for the final customer. And then the scan is optimized to do not consume all resources and disturb the server. That's a very good point for that. That's great. I think we make a short tour of the system, but for me, that's great. This is a click-click system and the web interface, so everybody can manage and use it. But in our business, we work with many companies doing automation to industrialize their system and industrialize their code deployment and their upgrade of their application. So for me, we need to automate this way. That's where this morning, one of my guys worked with GitLab to make a CI/CD for a full installation of a new application server on Idora, and then installed BitNinja and Let's Encrypt to have a fully integrated solution of security with the SSL integration and BitNinja with the best recommended rules on this. So let me just go deeply the CI. So the CI will be a bit simple. The first step is deploy an environment. The second step is install the BitNinja, and the last step is install Let's Encrypt. So we will use my parameters, and then we will go deeply to use a manifest. A manifest is an infrastructure as code based on YAML, and we will deploy an environment. So let me just run the pipeline. So during my speech, I can directly show you here. Sorry. Yes, I will hit. And then commit. You have to change. So in my in these steps, I will deploy a simple Apache server directly on my hosting provider, Idora, with a simple index.php for an hello world. The second step will be to install BitNinja manually or automatically, and we will deploy with a specific script the installation of BitNinja. And then we will do the same thing for Let's Encrypt and pass just the custom domain name due to the new installation. And then we will have the pipeline running on this. So it's running, that's perfect. Let's go to the repository. Let's come back to repository. So I have the first manifest, so the infrastructure of code as code to install an Apache with the cloudless. This is the resource system for the Virtuozzo platform as a service. We will say, okay, this is an application server, and then we will just create an echo with a PHP file with a beautiful hello world in my Apache server. Quite simple, but enough to be automated. The second way that we will do exactly the same, but for BitNinja. I'm sorry, my connection is not so good. And we will do, we have a manifest for BitNinja to install BitNinja automatically. And in this manifest, we can be deeper because we can make some customization of the BitNinja rules we can have because BitNinja have a CLI. That's the way to automate and industrialize your best practice directly on your infrastructure as code in your GitOps solution and push in production and on all release you would like to do it. So the big advantage of doing this is that you can install BitNinja, restarting the agent, make the installation. We can of course install BitNinja on our all platform, Tomcat, Nginx, Apache, Lightspeed, on all platforms. That's very good because for us, this is the ability to push security on each level, and that's very great. So I will not go deeper on this, but for example, we have last, this is the Let's Encrypt installation for good beyond this, but this is the simplest Let's Encrypt installation. You don't need to touch this. Everything will be done automatically. Let's see if the pipeline is going. Yes, continue to run. On my BitNinja Automat Hedera infrastructure, I have the BitNinja demo for you installed with my patches, but let's see how it goes on GitLab and see how the pipeline is running. So we have already installed the BitNinja agent, installing the Let's Encrypt. So if we go to the BitNinja dashboard, I have probably, and I hope, a new server directly installed. Yes, my BitNinja demo for you environment is here and already installed with the satisfactory let's check. That's the best way to have already my installation and my BitNinja. For now, I have no traffic, of course, no load because everything is new, and we will receive more details, more information, and more data soon due to the activity of the website. So this is, from my point of view, the best way to industrialize security, and then go directly to the when we do massive upgrade of our server, massive installation of new server. We have many customers doing a SaaS, so software as a service, on our platform. So that means they have all the CI/CD from GitLab or from any other CI platform like Azure DevOps or other one Jenkins. And then we have the ability to automate everything. And for us, this is the best way to put the security directly in the responsibility of the development and from the development level. So for us, we have the best way. Speaking to the system admin, developer guys, so technical person, and speaking to just web agency, doing installation of WordPress with a click installation. That we have the best way of all of this, and that's very great for us to provide this kind of security. And then one customer have the same console of the BitNinja console to manage all their server. Of course, they can share by and manage by group. They can manage by rules, by right, etc., etc. So that's very great to manage this. For us, this is the best way to do this this installation and automate this, because for us the automation is the best way to be secure, to be safe with the non-human human errors, to go to the market, to reduce the time to market, and push the security directly on the level of your development and deployment. That's the best way for us. So I think for me the demonstration is finished. If you have any question about this demonstration, I'm very happy to show you deeply, and we can help you on this, of course.
Yep, sure. Thank you, Matthew. As you see, guys, even poor connection cannot stop Virtuozzo Application Platform and BitNinja and Hedera from working. So everything works, even without internet at all. So yeah, the magic happens. Thank you, Matthew. That was insightful. And guys, just for you to understand that if you're going to have in future any questions around the technology, BitNinja technology, you can get in touch with the BitNinja team. Virtuozzo team is open to any questions in case you want to start offering this solution as well to your customers. And for sure, you need to get in touch with Hedera if you would like to test this solution on Virtuozzo Application Platform that is hosted in Switzerland. So for sure, we are open to all of those questions. One more update from our team is right now, as you know, this tool, BitNinja tool, is available in Virtuozzo Application Platform. But soon it will be available across other Virtuozzo products, because we already completed testing BitNinja on top of Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure or cloud platform, and also on top of Virtuozzo hybrid server. So coming soon, good news, and even more services with more security. And now we are ready to move on with the questions. Let me check what questions we have.
But Sam,
yep.
you're checking for the questions. I just wanted to praise Matthew that, it's really great that you have built this pipeline, and highlight one more advantage of having this automated build up of the infrastructure is to have separate branches in your repository, and so this way all the developers can have their own chance to build up the whole system and test local kind of locally, so almost in a production like environment the whole system. So this way, creating a kind of a staging procedure for the developers, and I think it's very important, because this way the whole thing becomes repeatable, and you don't have to, just hope and praise that you don't have to build it up again, once, like 2 years later, when something happens with the original system.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's the best way, because people need to have the security, but some other platform doing security are not API management. It's very difficult to add in the CI/CD and the DevOps philosophy on top of that. But and security guys are not able to help the developer on this. So the BitNinja installation and automation is quite easy. So everybody can touch it and manage this quite easy.
Sorry, Tatiana, just
no problem. We have a discussion. That's always good to discuss deeply. Yeah. So yeah, we have some questions from our attendees. Alex is asking about data security. What data or type of data is transmitted to BitNinja Cloud once the agent is installed? Once BitNinja is installed, what data leaves the hosting provider?
All right. So the BitNinja agent is only transferring data to the central API, which is security related and not personal data. So this can be a part of a file or a signature, or part of the log, but we make it anonym. So this way there's no so we can comply with all the regulations regarding personal data management. But thank you for the question.
Yep. Thank you. The next question was from Martin. Martin was asking about one issue that he faced during the initial testing of BitNinja on the Virtuozzo Application Platform with WAF module in BitNinja that was unavailable for nodes without external IP. I've already checked with our team, so this issue was already fixed, and now on all productions it was patched where the BitNinja Server Protection is available. On Virtuozzo application platforms, this issue is no longer there. So you can freely go and start using it on the full. Okay, so that's perfect. Then let's move on with some extra questions. Sometimes false logs may happen. How such resources are unlocked, IP addresses then? As you mentioned that you have a global database about bad resources from all current clients and use it.
Yeah, so you can, probably I haven't mentioned that there are 2 levels of these IP reputation lists. So the blacklist, whitelist, and gray list is present on the user level and also on a global level as well. So we manage the global level, and you can overwrite your user level lists. So if there's, for example, an IP address on the global blacklist, but you still want to allow the traffic, then you can whitelist that IP, so it will pass through. Also, the other combinations are true, that you can manage your own system's access, of course, but in most of the cases, what we see is users like to have a system that doesn't require maintenance, because what you expect from a security system is that you install and it provides security for you, and we wanted to achieve this goal, and not to, you know, make the users to learn how security works and then configure everything. Just like, for example, on a Cisco switch, you need to learn a complete new programming language to configure them.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, guys, move on with the questions. So if you have any more questions, feel free to add. And we have one more, and still we have some time to move on. So go ahead and hit questions in the chat. So the question is about auto-scale configurations. In auto-scale configuration, when new web server can be created by automation on load on website, is there a way to dynamically auto add remove these servers to BitNinja Protection?
Matthew,
Yeah,
Matthew, you can add, because you know everything about automation. So I think
yeah,
this question is for you.
Virtual scaling or vertical scaling or horizontal scaling is scripted by API on the Virtuozzo platform. So that means during the scaling in or the scaling out, we can install the BitNinja agent and replicate the rules directly from the CLI of BitNinja. So of course we can manage this automatically. Of course, this is, from my point of view, the goal of Idora and our philosophy is to are able to scale very fast and scale down very fast too in the same way, without losing features. And BitNinja and security is a feature for us, for our server, that is mandatory for everybody, from my point of view.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So one more question then. Does BitNinja have any rate limiting feature, George?
Yeah, so we have rate limiting on two levels. One is the IP level, so the network level actually, where you can, well, BitNinja comes with quite safe defaults. Yeah. So it helps to stop DOS attacks against your server, but at the same time you can configure or change the default threshold levels for this module to increase or decrease this limit. And also there's a feature for this on the web application firewall side, where you can limit the number of IP addresses, or not IP addresses, sorry, the number of requests to a website. So this way you can avoid overloading of a website with a high number of fake requests.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for answering. Good. I see that for now we don't have any other questions. But anyway, guys, if you're going to have any in the future, feel free to get in touch with anyone from our teams. You can get more details about BitNinja technology from BitNinja team. So they are open to communication. So feel free to send the questions. Also, Matthew, thanks a lot for being with us today and showing that great demo. Yeah, and for sure, guys, if you'd like to test how everything is working, to try what benefits this can bring to your project, go to Hedora platform, powered by Virtuozzo Application Platform for sure, and try that. by yourself. You can play around, you can freely test everything, how that works for your servers, and figure out how good that was for you and for your projects. And for sure, if you're interested to become a service provider who is offering BitNinja Server Protection together with Virtuozzo Application Platform or Cloud Platform, feel free to get in touch with Virtuozzo team, and we will provide you a demo and showcase how everything can be ready tomorrow. So great, guys. Thank you for joining. And as usual, we are going to send you the recording of this webinar. So waiting for your questions in future. Thank you, guys. Thank you, George and Matthew.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Nice to
much.
meet you. Thank you,
See you
Tatiana.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you.